Let's play a game. I'll tell you some facts and at the end you tell me whether India may Sab Changa see. Okay, let's go. On the Social Mobility Index of the World Economic Forum, India ranked 76th among 82 countries due to our poor performance on improving the quality of access to education and health. On the Democracy Index 2019 by the Economist Intelligence Unit, India's position dropped by 10 places to 51st due to an erosion of civil liberties in the country. Geeta Gopinath, the chief economist of the International Monetary Fund, announced that India is responsible for over 80% of the lowering of the global growth estimate. And an Oxfam report shows that the richest 1% of Indians own 42.5% of the national wealth, while the bottom 50% owns a mere 2.8%. All of these headlines are from January 2020. Now, before we further discuss what these reports tell us about the state of our nation, you tell me, does it sound like Sab Changa see? First, let's talk about India's downslide on the Democracy Index, which is an annual list compiled by the Economist Intelligence Unit. In the 2019 rankings, India is placed 51st among 165 countries and 2 territories, having received our lowest score since the index was first published in 2006. India's score fell from 7.81 in 2016 to 7.23 in 2017 and 18, and now 6.9 in 2019. The parameters on which this index is based include political culture and civil liberties. As per the report, the aspect that primarily caused India's drop in rankings is an erosion of civil liberties in the country. The issues and examples highlighted by the Economist Intelligence Unit include the abrogation of Article 370 in Jammu and Kashmir, the house arrests of politicians opposing the move, the prolonged internet shutdown there, the botched up NRC in Assam, and the controversial Citizenship Amendment Act. And coupled with the kind of hate speech you hear from our politicians, are you really surprised that we have fared so miserably? Here, sample this. BJP MLA G. Somashekar Reddy issued a public threat by saying, "We are 80% and you are just 17%. Imagine what will happen to you if we turn against you," unquote. And Karnataka's Tourism and Culture Minister C.T. Ravi's threat menacingly reminded Muslims of the Gujarat riots of 2002. He said, "I advise you to look back and see what happens when the patience of the majority community runs out." And these are just a couple of recent examples from dozens and dozens of such hateful comments by those in power, and there's no action taken against them either. A blot on our democracy? Undoubtedly so. India's GDP growth rate slipped to 4.5%, its weakest pace in more than 6 years in the quarter from July to September 2019. The slowdown is so severe that the IMF is citing it as the reason for trimming the global growth forecast. Yet those in power continue to often exhibit sheer denial or worse, attempt to suppress worrisome data. Unemployment in India was found to be at a 45-year high. So what did the government do? It discredited the NSSO report and refused to release it for several months till after the 2019 Lok Sabha election. Consumer expenditure declined for the first time in over 4 decades. So what did the government do? It refused to release its own report. It's almost like, if there's data showing a cause for concern, instead of bothering about the concern, let's hide the data instead. Part of the reason India has ranked so low in the WEF Social Mobility Index, we're 7th last in a list of 82 countries, is our poor performance on areas like access to healthcare and education. Out of the 82 countries, India ranks 73rd in healthcare, 77th in education quality and equity, 75th in work opportunities, 79th in fair wage, and 76th in social protection. That is, India ranks in the bottom 10 in 5 out of a total of 10 categories. Now think long and hard. When was the last time you remember the political discourse in this country focusing on either education or healthcare, 2 massively important policy areas? As an analysis of TV news debates by the online content creator Official Being Human showed, both the mainstream media and those in power are happy to continue attacking either Pakistan or the opposition in their news coverage and political communication. Sometimes, as BJP candidate in Delhi Kapil Mishra has shown, you can even conflate Pakistan and the opposition to try and achieve your goal. Meanwhile, budgets for top educational institutions are being slashed and some 2.4 million Indians die of treatable conditions every year, the worst situation among 136 nations studied for a report published in The Lancet in 2018. Another barrier to social mobility is the deeply entrenched caste system in the country. For example, more than 27% of Indian households are estimated to practice untouchability, and one manual scavenger dies every 5 days while cleaning sewers and septic tanks. From healthcare to education to caste discrimination and unemployment, these are the issues that should be priorities of the government. But given the misplaced list of priorities and the government's tendency to deny that anything whatsoever is wrong, These recent global rankings only reflect a reality that this administration possibly cannot hide. India is sliding down on parameters ranging from civil liberties to economic growth, and saying Sab Changa will not magically sort this mess.